Hello and welcome back to our data structures and algorithm series. In the previous video, we looked at the creation operation of an array. In this video, we're going to focus on the insertion operation. Now, you can either insert an element at the end of an array or at the front of the array or between elements in an array. Now, the most common form of insertion is actually at the end of the array because it's very efficient. It's an O of 1 operation, and we are going to see how. So let's dive in. So if this is our array and we want to insert at the very end, there are two scenarios. Either we are going to have space at the end or we do not have space. So in this scenario, we do have space at the end. So the function to do that is the append function. So array.append, and then the value that you want to insert may be 30. Then after you execute that, then you get the array, the new array that has the value 30 there. Now in this particular operation, because you are able to calculate the last index there, then the value, the time complexity of this particular operation is O of 1. Now, on the other end, if we want to append, say, a 40 to this array and all the spaces are already occupied, then another operation is going to happen. So what happens is that the computer will create a new array, a larger array, on a different memory location. Then it will copy and paste the values of the old array in the new array, and then insert that particular value that you wanted to insert. So this is quite, this is quite an expensive operation, and it actually gives us an O of n time complexity. It's really important that you understand those two scenarios. Okay, now the next scenario is when we want to insert at the front. So what happens? We want to insert a value at the very beginning, so at index 0. So the formula, the syntax for that is the insert function, so array.insert. And then we put the index, so this is the index where we want to insert. So we want to insert at index 0 and the value. So if we execute this statement, look what will happen. So all the values of the array are going to be shifted once so that we can get space at the beginning. So again, quite an expensive operation, which gives us an O of n time complexity. Okay, and lastly, we are looking at how to insert in between. So we want to insert, for example, at index 5 there, where we have the number 9. So that is index 5. So for that, again, we use the insert function. So we specify the index. So index 5. So this is index 5 actually. Then the value we want to insert. So as you might have guessed, what will happen? The rest of the values will have to be shifted. The rest of the values will have to be shifted so that we get space at index 5. Then eventually, the number 11 is going to be inserted at index number 5. So that is how we insert in between. So let's dive in and implement this on Visual Studio Code using Python. So let's begin by cleaning up our code. So let's just change this back to integer and just remove the 5.5 so that we just have 5. Also, let's change this ask into just letter A because this is a Unicode. Okay, so the first thing we want to try is inserting a value at the end of the array. So to do that, you use the name of the array, my array, and then dot append, then the value you want to insert at the end. So we want to insert 40. So we've done exactly that, and then I'll just change this so that now we can print my array and see whether 40 is inserted at the end. So if we do run our code, okay, so we can see that if we run our code, indeed now we have 40 and we didn't have it previously. So it's because we've used the append, and we see that it has been added at the end of the array. Okay, so let's go ahead and do task number 2. So that is inserting a value at the front of the array. So to do this, we use the name of the array dot insert. So the first thing we need to put, you can see the tooltip there. So we need to do the index. So index 0 and the value. For example, we want to insert 4 there. So if we run this code, then good. So we not only have the 40 that we inserted earlier, but now we also have the 4 at the very beginning. Okay, so let's see, how do we insert a value? How do we insert a value in between? So we want to insert the value 11 at index 5. So inserting a value in between an array. Okay, so for this, again, the name of the array dot insert, then the index where you want to insert, and the value, which is 11. So once we have that, then we can save and run our code. And okay, so we can say that in the previous array we did not have 11 anywhere, but now in this array we have 11. So we've inserted 11 at index 5, and every other element has been shifted once. So that is how we do that. One other thing that I'll mention is about adding or concatenating, as we call it. Concatenation is a jargon, but concatenating simply is joining. So joining arrays. So how do you join an array? So for example, we have my char array here. Let's just duplicate this. Okay, so now we have 2 arrays here. We need to make them to be different. So I'll just call this my char ABC, and this one maybe DEF. So I just want this one to contain the letter D, E, F. Okay, so once I have that, we can concatenate the array here. We can concatenate the array here like this. So my new array. So we normally use the plus sign, so we can do my char ABC plus my char DEF, just like that. So now we can print my new array here. So if we do print, we should be able to get the joined array. So we've been able to join ABC and DEF. So to do that, again, you use the plus symbol to concatenate values of an array. So this is still insertion, because really the second array is being inserted at the end of the first array. So please remember that. So thank you so much for sticking to the end. In the next video, we look at the traversal operation. So see you there. Bye bye for now.